There is a version of the story the public sees, composed, polished, controlled. Then there's the hidden version, the version beneath press statements, carefully worded appeals, and a composed face that masks unimaginable pain. Most have only witnessed the surface, the outward performance of grace and strength in crisis. But the real tragedy is layered, multifaceted, and relentless. Understanding it requires looking past the headlines, beyond the videos of composure and courage, to the private turmoil of a 54-year-old woman whose world has been shattered. Only then can one grasp the profound depth of this heartbreak. Savannah Guthrie, at 54. At 54, Savannah Guthrie had reached a pinnacle of professional achievement. She had built one of the most recognizable careers in American television while navigating organizational turbulence that could have ended many careers. She had raised 2 children, managed relentless public scrutiny, and carried the impossible daily expectation of being simultaneously brilliant and relatable, authoritative and warm. 54 is supposed to be the age of arriving, of claiming the rewards of a lifetime of effort. Instead, it became the moment her world fractured, leaving her navigating unimaginable personal loss while maintaining the composure that had defined her public life. The day everything changed on. February 1st, 2026, everything changed. The home of Nancy Guthrie in Tucson, Arizona, was discovered empty. Investigators confirmed that 84-year-old Nancy had been taken against her will. Suddenly, the word kidnapping was attached to someone millions only knew as a beloved mother. From that moment, Savannah's life split into 2 realities. The public one, where she had to remain composed while millions watched and the investigation unfolded, and the private one, where she was simply a daughter grappling with the unimaginable fear that her mother might never return. The duality of this tragedy defined every waking moment. The physical stakes. The first, most visible layer of this tragedy is physical. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old and requires heart medication to survive. Every hour without it risks her life. When the kidnappers took her, they did not just take a person, they took someone vulnerable, someone whose body cannot endure prolonged neglect. Savannah understood this from the first moment, each passing minute amplifying the stakes. Standing in front of cameras, delivering measured statements, she bore the knowledge of her mother's potential suffering. That alone would crush most people, yet she functioned, performing with a composure that concealed the terror and urgency of her mother's life hanging in the balance, the weight of performance. But this tragedy is deeper than the physical danger. Savannah's ability to maintain composure is not simply a testament to strength. It is a painful consequence of a lifetime spent learning to perform under pressure. From childhood, she absorbed a philosophy: vulnerability is a liability, weakness punished, and pain should be managed silently. This mindset shaped her identity. It allowed her to navigate crisis after crisis. But it also created an inner hunger, a persistent, unfulfilled question of self-worth. In the midst of unimaginable fear, she performed precisely because she'd been trained to do so, not because it made the suffering any easier to bear. The silent struggle. Within this hunger, the constant questioning of adequacy runs deep. For decades, Savannah has asked, "Am I enough?" Not to colleagues, viewers, or the public, but in the voice that mattered most, her mother's. Professional accolades, public admiration, and national recognition cannot satisfy that longing. At 54, during the most agonizing moments of her life, she continues to seek the answer. The crisis did not create the struggle, it magnified it. Every carefully measured statement, every controlled interaction, is a reflection of a life built on proving oneself, on hiding vulnerability, on performing strength to earn the love that was already there. A lifetime of preparation. Savannah did not arrive at this crisis unprepared. Her life was a sequence of lessons in endurance, composure, and professionalism. Raised after her father's death, she internalized her mother's philosophy. Strength is what the world requires. Love is conditional upon it. By adulthood, it was second nature, inseparable from her identity. During the kidnapping crisis, this training enabled her to structure statements, manage appearances, and maintain authority in public. Yet this preparation, essential for survival and professional success, also left her alone in her deepest emotional need. The very skills that allowed her to cope publicly amplified her private suffering. The core of the tragedy. The deepest tragedy is not the public performance or the physical danger. It is the absence of the person who could answer the question Savannah has carried her entire life. Nancy Guthrie, the mother who instilled strength and survival strategies, is the very person whose presence could provide unconditional reassurance. The irony is cruel. The source of her resilience, who taught her to hold herself together, is unavailable at the moment she most needs to hear that she is enough, loved and valued without any performance or achievement. It is a quiet, unseen tragedy that eclipses the visible one, the gift that could heal. The greatest gift Nancy could give now is simple and unadorned. I love you. Not praise, advice, or recognition, but 3 words affirming unconditional worth. These words require no performance, no demonstration of competence. They would reassure Savannah that her entire life of striving, proving, and enduring was never a prerequisite for love. The tragedy is that this gift, so easily expressed, remains out of reach while Savannah continues to navigate impossible stakes publicly and privately. Her longing is profound, touching the quietest, most vulnerable part of her identity, yearning for recognition she has always deserved. The public versus private reality. The public has witnessed courage, composure, and eloquence. What remains invisible is the private torment. Savannah Guthrie, admired and celebrated by millions, endures unimaginable uncertainty about her mother's fate. The physical danger, the national attention, and the intense pressure are only part of the story. Beneath it all is the emotional core, a daughter's desperate need to hear she is enough from the person whose affirmation shaped her life. Public perception may see strength, but private reality is grief layered upon longing, resilience strained by fear, and achievement overshadowed by the absence of unconditional reassurance. The human cost. Every day that passes without Nancy Guthrie's return compounds the tragedy. Savannah continues to perform, a public figure maintaining composure, while privately enduring the worst fear imaginable. The physical, emotional, and psychological toll is enormous. It is a reminder that human resilience is both extraordinary and exhausting. The layers of tragedy, visible and invisible, illustrate the complex cost of strength, the price of early lessons in performance, and the human need for affirmation. Savannah's story is not only a narrative of survival, but also a testament to the quiet suffering hidden behind outward composure. Conclusion. Bring Nancy home. The story of Savannah Guthrie is far more than public headlines and media coverage. It is the story of a daughter who has carried the weight of expectation and resilience her entire life, now confronting the unimaginable fear of losing the one person whose love could confirm she has always been enough. The world sees composure. The private truth is grief and longing. The hope is simple yet profound. Bring Nancy home. Let her daughter hear, finally, the words she has waited decades to hear. You are enough. I love you, just as you are.